Hello there. Welcome, fellow Scorpios. My name's Amista, and we're going to do a tarot forecast for the week of February the 7th through the 13th. Thank you very much for joining me for this. I appreciate you so much. We are going to do one card per day, and we're just going to start with the weekend. The 7th is Saturday, so we'll start with the weekend and then work through until we get to the weekdays and finish up the week with a Friday. I don't like to split up my weekends. I know it's technically Sunday's the beginning of the week, but on the calendar doesn't feel like the weekend should be split up though, does it? I probably am not the only one that thinks that way. Okay, so those of you who haven't seen me before, what you need to know is my sun is in Scorpio along with the stellium, Neptune, Mercury, and Venus. Um, Plus, I want to say I have an asteroid in there too. I have to go back and look and think about that. But anyway, I've got quite a bit going on in Scorpio. So this applies to me as much as anybody else. Of course, this is a general reading. And so not everything is going to apply to every single Scorpio out there. And so if you come across something that just doesn't happen for you, don't stress out about it. Just recognize it's a general reading. And also keep in mind the best way to get a precision reading on you and your energies is to have a private and personal reading. But if you're not going to do that, then this is, the next best thing. So, anyway, excuse me. We are starting our Saturday with the Six of Swords coming up in reverse. Six of Swords in reverse just means we're doing something that is a lifestyle change. We're doing something different to improve either the lifestyle we're living right now or the length of our life, one of those two. Now, on Sunday, Two of Cups in reverse, there's something going on Sunday that there's a situation or a person we used to really be drawn to or attracted to. We were fascinated by them, mesmerized by them. We wanted to spend more time either, excuse me, either doing this thing or hanging out with this person or whatever it is. But when this card comes up in reverse, this says, well, yep, the glitter's fallen off of the Christmas present there. It's not, we're not drawn to it anymore. We could take it or leave it now. And in fact, we would kind of rather leave it, to be honest. We may not be saying that just yet, or we could, but we're definitely coming to that realization or thinking that. All right, let's look at our weekity week, Monday. King of Cups coming up first right off the bat for Monday. This just says, what's going on here, Scorpio? Is this us or someone we're interacting with? Someone we're interacting with. So this is somebody who is very much in control of their feelings. They don't let their feelings run the show or run them. So if they're angry, they're not going to be super boisterous about that. If they're happy, they're going to, show that, but they're also not going to be like over the top, getting crazy with it. So King of Cups is somebody who really knows what to do with their emotions, how to carry them, how to relate to them, how to release them when they need to. So when we see a King of Cups coming up here, this could be somebody who's giving us some advice, especially when it comes to relationships or other things where we may have emotions involved. I feel like we may even be getting some advice about maybe our level of attachment with something that somebody may be pointing out to us, is something about the idea of being too attached to something can really hold us back from other things that maybe are better. Hmm. Isn't that interesting that on Sunday we had the Two of Cups in reverse where we're realizing we're not as attached to something as we used to be or not as fascinated or drawn in by it. And then we're getting advice about the idea of attachment and the idea about what is it good for us to be attached to and what is it good for us not to. There's different theories on that. Different theories on that. I'm not going to go into what all of them are. We'll see what happens on Monday. Now, on Tuesday, here we have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords just talks about digging into some information. All right. So, how is this playing out for us? we may be digging in for some information in kind of a spiritual way, throwing cards, throwing runes, something like that. But doesn't have to be that. I mean, we're pretty intuitive. A lot of us do use our own fortune telling tools, so to speak, or our divine tools. But this could also actually be doing research, doing our due diligence around something, looking for a solution to a situation that we're in, something like that. This is getting some kind of education, some kind of information, and digging for it. This is not, like when the moon's in reverse, that information just comes up to us. This is us actually looking for that information. Okay. Now, looking at Wednesday, we have the Nine of Swords showing up in reverse. Nine of Swords in reverse just talks about the idea that there's something that we are no longer stressing out about. Either the situation has changed or we've done some healing around it. And so we are putting that stress behind us. Now we're in this space of, okay, I'm just going to breathe. I've done the best that I can do in this situation. Now I just need to let the cookie crumble how it may. And now I just need to breathe. Excuse me. So Thursday, we're looking at the sun. And so the sun just talks about we're doing something that makes us very happy, satisfied, fulfilled, something that feels very good to us. It's very productive. And we're doing it without anybody looking over our shoulder or breathing down our necks. Okay. Now we're looking at Friday. Friday is the Ace of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords in reverse basically talks about the idea of um, passing along some good information to somebody in our sphere of influence. So this is communicating something that somebody needs to know. We could actually be teaching something, or we could just have some information that other people need to know, and so we're passing it along to them, either one way or the other. Kind of like that. That's a nice progression. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Breathing, not stressing out anymore, doing something, happiness making and productive, passing along information to somebody else. This may have to do with whatever we're doing that's happiness making and productive. We may be letting somebody know, I'm shifting over into this thing, whatever that is. So, interesting week. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. Could be a lot of fun. We could have a good week right here. Everybody have a fantastic week. Of course, if you want a private reading where I can look at your individual energies, feel free to book that with me. You can find out how on my website right there above my head. Also, all my contact information is there too. So if you have questions about any of my services or how to book them, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer those questions and help navigate that system. And yeah, just have a great week. Peace.